What is delivery value? It's deliver value. It's not delivery value first.
Yeah. So I'll just talk about it. Sure. So the way, I just gave you an example of very simple example of how Amazon created value, right? Uh, we used to get all that we get on Amazon, but we used to get it in a physical market. So the idea was that you go to the market and then you buy products, and then you come back. So this is what the usual process used to be. So now what happens is that uh, on the customer side, if you look at Amazon, on the customer side, we are talking about how we are creating value for that customer. What is that customer getting? So that customer is getting to shop at the click of a finger. So the customer is getting to shop online. So that is the value which is generated for the customer. But if you'll see how that is happening because at the back end of it, there has to be a lot of activities. There have to be a lot of plans. There are a lot of back end work which is happening to deliver this value. Am I making myself clear? So how am I creating value is only for the customer, because the customer can only see the front end of it, which is the value creation. But at the back end, there has to be a lot of work to be done to deliver this value. So this is the difference between creating value and then the delivering value for the customer. So this side that you see is more of the business focused, and on the right hand side, something that you see is more customer focused. So does that answer your question? Cool. I'll take it as you.
So she's posted one more question. Actually, I think we can take questions at the end. Don't you think, Sunanda? Probably. There's a question right now saying that what is capture value?
Captured value is okay. No, it's okay. We can take it simultaneously, because if they don't understand this level, then yeah.
Okay.
So capturing value is when you are capturing value in numbers. So on the top end, you will see there are no numbers. There is partners, activities, resources on how we are working to deliver that value, on how this value is being created for the customer. But below you will see numbers. What are my revenue streams? How my revenue is going to work? And what's my cost? Basic essence of the business. And the essence of the business is always captured in numbers. So that's capturing value. Cool. So do we move forward now? Okay. So there's a small difference between business model canvas and lean canvas, wherein here you see that, and it's more, lean canvas is more problem focused. So problem, solution, and what are the metrics that are used, and then how are we passing that value creation, and how what's the unfair advantage. It's actually a formation. Business model canvas is more holistic. It covers more number of, it's more, it goes in depth, and that is why maybe I like business model canvas more as compared to lean canvas, because what it is saying in terms of identifying the problem and the solution, I think that's bare minimum, and that should be done before you start with the modeling activity altogether. So when you're doing business model canvas, you got to identify the problem that you have to work on, you got to identify the solution, and then you start putting it in this. And this, when you start putting it, business model canvas for me gives much more detailed, much more clarity on how we are going to capture and deliver this value, as opposed to just putting down, problem and solution in place. So that's the major difference between the business model canvas and lean canvas. We could do either. Okay, so this is something that you will have to just do it when you are working for the presentation tomorrow. So if you have something to write on, just keep noting down, or we could share this presentation with everybody. But the idea is that whenever you are working on it, identify the challenge, identify the opportunity that you would want to work on. We are going to give you a challenge. We're going to give you a problem statement as it is that we've identified. But at the end of the session, we are also going to brainstorm. And if somebody has a problem or a challenge statement that they would like to work on, we could work on that also. So we'll discuss that at the end of this session. So it's basically a concept of how we'll identify the challenge, how we'll put that into a statement and create, start creating that business model canvas on that idea. Okay. So this is an example of creation of business models as to how you would start thinking on those terms. So the question that you have to ask yourself is that, what is that challenge that I want to tackle? What am I passionate about? Is, this happens very naturally, that whatever you are passionate about, you get ideas around that very easily. I mean, I'll give you my own example. So you all know me for Daftar, the co-working space that we always keep talking about, and I give a lot of examples from. But there's been a recent development from my side. So over the time, I've developed this passion for coffee. Actually, I've become a coffee holic in the lighter way. But this is something that I really like. And then and I've explored multiple coffees. So, right from whatever you would get in the market, right from our Starbucks and CCDs of our life to getting to Nescafes, to even blue Tokais and third wave roasters, and all that I could get, I've explored a lot. And then slowly and steadily, I started, while I was exploring, I started liking a few coffees, started developing taste. And then I started identifying that, hey, this is something that, this is not something that I can't go to Starbucks daily. I can't go to, even if I like their coffee, even if I like to, though I don't, but even if I like, I mean, it's so expensive that you can't really have it daily. And then how would you really solve that problem of getting good coffee at home? And I'm not a black coffee drinker. So, all these espressos and all these high-end brews don't work for me. I always need some dairy in my coffee. So how do I make that? And that problem actually led me to exploring multiple coffees, exploring multiple things. And then something that I really liked was Indian filter coffee. And that is something that is very difficult to get. I mean, from where do I get my Indian filter coffee? Though it is very prevalent in the southern part of our country. But when it comes to here, sitting in Pune, I mean, we don't even get to source it from somewhere. And by the time it comes to us, it's not something that we would like. So this is something that I'm passionate about. I identified a problem. And then I said there would be people like me who, and especially South Indians, who would want this coffee delivered to their home. I mean, who would want this coffee, forget delivered to their home, but readily available, which you don't get. So it's a problem. That's a challenge that I identified, and I started working on it. I mean, that's actually my personal challenge that I converted into a business now. And I'm in the process of doing that with my latest venture. So something that you're passionate about, it really gives you more of ideas, because therein you will start facing problems. So that will happen automatically. And then you create it into a challenge statement. So this example here that you see is the example which says that somebody is passionate about, say, providing students with practical job ready knowledge and skills. And how you convert it into a statement is that how can we effectively help students find the jobs and careers of their dreams? So maybe the challenge statement that I had was that how do I get the coffee that I love readily available to me and for the people who have like a similar mindset to me? Could be people who would be readily people who would be already South Indians who already like that coffee, or explorers who are not getting the coffee of their choice. And that converting into an idea of, let me start my own online platform. Let me look from where I'm sourcing my coffee. Can I share that platform with everybody for them to source their coffee? And can I really provide freshly brewed, freshly roasted, can I really provide freshly roasted, freshly ground coffee to people? And people who drink coffee, they really know that, I mean, it works like a fuel for them. So this is something that I'm passionate about. I identified the challenge and converted into an idea to work on a business. like that. So this is the way in which you actually start, and then you start building it, then you start identifying and create a business model canvas out of it. Then you start creating that, okay, abhi karna kya hai? I mean, what's the next step? The next step is usually to identify, okay, I got an idea, I think this is a problem, I think this is a challenge, but are there other people like me? I mean, are there other customers who are looking for the same thing? I feel that there would be South Indians who would be looking for coffee. I feel that there would be explorers like me who would be looking for coffee. But are there any? I mean, that's that. And when we say, are there any? There could be people amongst you only. You might feel that, you know, there's a group which just says yes. But it's not important for somebody to say yes. It's important for somebody to come and say, hey, take this money, get me that. So it's very important to get a paying customer as opposed to just getting a yes customer. It's very easy to get yes customers. So suppose if I go and ask and say that, you know, I'm sending out free coffees to everybody out here, we'll get around 50 to 60% people saying that, hey, yeah, send it to me, let me try. What is it? How is it? But if I say that I'm going to take orders for coffee, take my word for it, or I would say that, okay, taste this coffee, and then if you like it, just buy it immediately, then how many people actually pay for it are the correct judgment of a customer coming to me. But before that, what you have to do is that you have to identify who that customer is. And why I said that it is important for that customer to pay is because there could be, you know, many customers, there could be many potential customers that we could see. That if I look at the face of it, I could say that, okay, all South Indians drink filter coffee. So all South Indian people who are staying in Pune are my customers. But at the same time, I have to identify those niches. I have to identify those specific people. So there could be people who are already sourcing their coffee either from their hometowns because they have their own blends, or they know where to get it from. Or there are people who've just changed their taste over a period of time, who just don't like it. So it's very important to identify those niches, those paying customers, to really work for your to really make your business work. So on the top of it, what you have to do is you have to overall first try and understand who your customer segment is going to be. Once you understand who your customer segment is going to be, there could be multiple customer segments. So taking this example again, and maybe I'm talking about it because I've just recently worked on it, is that one, South Indians could be one customer segment. There could be North Indians. There could be not, when I say North Indians, there could be rest of the people who are residents of Pune, but they could be the ones who are exploring other coffees. Maybe they're not getting good coffee at home. Or there could be people who are who don't have a taste for coffee at all. So these people have to be really segmented and treated very differently. So you have to understand who they are, what they want, where they go, where are they coffee drinkers, where are they sourcing their coffee right now, what kind of coffee are they drinking, are they happy, are they not happy with it. It's like you really have to do a kind of a PhD on your customer to really cater to that customer. So the way Dr. Mariam was saying that you how will you empathize with a person unless you know that person inside out. So मैं उसको मजाक में बोलती हूँ हमेशा कि हमें कुंडली निकालना होता है अपने customer का, in the literal sense that you really have to go deep down inside out and understand who that customer is, where does that person live, what does that person spend on, and relevance to what you are going to cater to, but you got to know everything end to end about that customer. So this is going deep down, but on the top of it, you have to first start identifying who would be your closest customer and who would pay you. It's very important to understand who would pay you at the end of the day. So we've already covered an example, so I'm not going to stop here, but your assignment is going to be, you identify your customer and then you segment them. You put them into separate groups, because these groups will be behaving very differently than each other. And try and understand as much as possible about these groups. Try and understand how these customers behave, what they like, what are their preferences, what they have been using till now. Are they happy with it? Are they not happy with it? What will make them happy? So this is what we have to do to identify the right customer. And to who will be the right customer? The right customer is the one who's going to pay for the product or the service. As simple as that. There's no other way. And then there could be many segments that you could identify. The idea is to identify the lowest hanging fruit, right? Identify the customer segment which is going to work the fastest for you. So maybe for in the coffee example, that the customer segment that will work fastest for me are the people who are already hooked on to coffee, who are already drinkers, but they are not getting their coffee readily available. So they are the ones wherein I will not have to go and sell my product possibly, but what I'll have to do is just add value to what they have been wanting, right? So that way. So the next here, let me just go back to the canvas again. So in this canvas, what we usually do is that we work from the right hand side first. So on the customer focused side, you will see that there's a customer here on the right hand side. So we are going to fill the customer column first, okay, and then we are going to move to the value proposition column, which is in the center. So there's usually a sequence that you follow while you are just give me. Okay, so what you do is, I'm sorry for the noise here. What we really do is that we start from the customer focus side, move to the customer end, and then start filling out the value proposition. Complete the right hand side first, and then move on to the business focused side. So herein we started with the customer segments first, identifying who the customer is, moving on to the value proposition column. Now we've been talking about value proposition, and I've been again and again saying that your entire idea, the entire concept that you're working on, at the end of the day you should be passing some value. So what this column does is that herein you talk about what is the value that you are giving to your customer. क्या नया कर रहे हो, क्या अलग लेकर आ रहे हो, क्या प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर रहे हो, what exactly are you trying to pass to your customer is what you write here. And it's very important to write this, because again and again, like I said, unless and until you're giving a value, unless and until you're solving a problem, unless and until you are creating something new, it is not going to make sense to our customers. It could be quantitative, it could be qualitative, it could be game changing. So the way people have done quantitatively here is that Walmarts, or something that we know here as our DMarts, they pass value because they are known for giving out the best of discounts, because there you are going to get the lowest of price. So unka value kya hai? That you go and you're going to shop more in the same amount of money because of the discounts, because of the kind of deals that they get. So they have their quantification value that they pass. Qualitative value, yeah, we've talked about iPhones. We've talked about, for game changing also, it's iPhones. Anything else that you can think of for qualitative value? Any ideas?
So organic food, cold pressed juices, oils.
Perfect, exactly. So these are all qualitative values because they have been they have been giving us, they have been giving us a lot of, they're majorly, they're not solving the problem here. See, they're adding value. This is an opportunity that they're catering to. So people who are more health conscious. So that's a perfect example of qualitative value. So what, and how you identify that? So herein, what we have to see is that, are we relieving any pain or are we giving any gain to the customer? Problem solved क्या हुआ? Pain reliever हुआ. और gain क्या हुआ? The over and above value that you give is the gain. So all these organic products are gains because they help you prevent any health issues that could come. But a pain solver is something which a lot of logistics guys did during COVID, wherein we saw that when the veggies were not being delivered, when our big baskets wasn't working, did you see a lot of activity happening around? What I saw was that the place I live at, where there was no big basket coming. There were no organized delivery guys coming. So the local guy, he developed his own platform to deliver veggies and fruits. Pain reliever. भले वो opportunity हो सकता था, but उस समय के लिए वो pain था. And then you see there's so many logistics companies which have come up during this time just to relieve the pain. And the gains that you would see that a lot of physical store outlets you would have seen coming to your societies now. There's Puma coming to your societies. There's Fab India coming to your societies. That's an opportunity. Not that we are dying because of it, but yes, that brings us happiness. Okay, that gives them an opportunity and gives us happiness. It's a gain for us that I'm just able to shop. Just there's something new to do when there were no malls working. So you could either be relieving a pain or you could either be giving a gain to the customer. So this is how you identify your value. And then you put it in your canvas here. So the center column is more of the value proposition column. So first you identify customer कौन है, and then you identify उसको मैं क्या value दे रहा हूँ. कौन है ये customer, इसके segments कौन है, who's the lowest hanging for me, who's going to pay me for whatever service I would have, against what value I would be giving out to that customer. So the next step is to write down what are the customer pains. If you're not able to identify value, then start thinking of the pains. So whatever the way you are fulfilling it would be the pain reliever for the customer. So the coffee example that I was giving, pain is to get freshly roasted coffee, fresh coffee being available to you, because what you have to do is, pehle to you don't get it at local shops at all. You have to identify there are only certain spots in the city like Pune where you have to go and get it. And suppose even if you go, I mean, there are chances that you might not get your coffee fresh there. But what this is a pain. What I'm doing, I'm relieving this pain by giving this coffee. What's the gain? The gain is that I'm delivering it to your doorstep. That's additional value that I'm giving. So this is how you work on the value proposition for the idea that you're working on. Okay. The next step is that now that you have identified who your customer is, what is the value that I'm passing, then you think about what is the channel that I'm going to use to give that value, and what is the relationship that I'm going to maintain with the customer. Very simple to understand. क्या है मेरा channel देने का? Could be a physical channel, could be the simplest thing, could be a putting out a outlet, could be a online channel, could be a partnership channel, could be a franchisee channel. There could be multiple channels. So you have to identify what is the channel through which I am going to give this value to my customer. So you identify वो तरीका क्या है, and that channel is usually So here, if you would see between value proposition and customer segment towards the right, there's a column which says channels and customer relationships. So this is the column that you fill next. And it comes, if you'll see, the flow comes very naturally, wherein first it is very important to identify who your customer is, and then moving on to what value you're giving. And then you're talking about how, who, what, and then how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it through which channel. And this channel identification isn't just about, wo value kaise jayega customer ke paas. It's also about, so if you look at the example of Amazon, if you look at the example of the coffee platform that I've been talking about, so the channel that I have chosen is an online shop. But I also have to work on logistics, because the way it is going to be delivered is somebody literally going. So I have to have a logistics partner. There has to be a person who's going to go and deliver. So you have to identify phase-wise channels as to what channel I am going to use to reach out to the customer, what channel I am going to use for catering to that customer. Maybe what channel I am going to use once that customer has always become has purchased it from me one time. How am I going to interact with that customer later on? So identifying all these channels is equally important. So you have to categorize these channels in the multiple phases of the business. So identify wo business hoga kaise pura. Okay, I'll simplest example like I gave was that, okay, I'm going to put an online store, then I'm going to tie up with the logistics guys. So those logistics guys are going to pick up the coffee from the source and are going to deliver it to the customer. And the after sales channels could be a phone call that I'm going to give. So could be that personal, or could be a online channel again, wherein I would interact with that customer through social media. I could interact with that customer through mailers. So all these channels have to be identified. There could be a probability wherein I can tie up with a partner and start reaching out to my customer. So that could be the other channel. And then what we have to understand is that what is the relationship that I'm going to build with my customer. It is very important to understand कि वो relationship क्या होगा, because basis that relationship, your communication is going to be developed. Okay, so this is where again that empathy thing comes, which Dr. Mariam was talking about, that you got to know your customer and then only you will build the relationship with that customer. It also depends on the kind of business that you're doing. Is it going to be a very personal relationship, or is it going to be an automated relationship? Is it something that, will your customer look at you as a friend, or will your customer look at you as an authority? So for example, let's say, again, let's take the example of this coffee thing. So what kind of relationship do I want to build with my customer? So if you ask me, I think I want to build the relationship of a friend, because coffee is something that you like, that I can cater to, but I would like to know more. I would like to share the experiences with you. I would like to share those because it's an experience. The way you would see people having tea at your home or coffee at your home, you will see that it's more of a ritual at home, that सुबह उठते हैं तो सब लोग बैठ के एक साथ चाय पीते हैं. वो कौन सा relationship होता है? वो bonding वाला, वो friendship वाला relationship होता है. When you go out to coffee shops, कौन सा relationship होता है? Okay, you bond over it. You have fun. You have good times together. So those are the times that are defined by beverages to us. So that is the kind of relationship that I want to do. Right? So you have to understand that what kind of relationship. And then when I talk to that customer, I talk to that customer from that perspective. I use those kind of communication, be it visual and written, to cater to my customer. It also helps you in identifying. Suppose there are instances when you want to have a thought leadership. So हमने जिस example से शुरू किया था, that somebody is helping students to get jobs. Therein the relationship has to be, it can't be a friendly relationship. It has to be more that somebody is a thought leader, somebody is an expert at it. So that relationship is very different, wherein the person or the company would tell the students as to what to do. I mean, you got to bring your resumes up to the mark. You got to bring your communication up to the mark. You got to bring your knowledge about the industry up to the mark. And those guys would guide you there. So it's more of a guiding relationship than a friendly relationship. In Daftar, we've worked more in a community relationship. So which is again a friendly relationship, but on the business terms. It's more about how can we help each other in each other's business? How can we add value there? So all these relationships could be very different, and the way you interact, the way you deal with your customer, it is dependent on that, and it's very important to deal with them in the right way. So this is what you're going to put there. So this covers the right hand side of our business model, which is we start with customer segments, we move on to value proposition, and then fill in the customer relationships and channels. Okay, so this is how you would work on the right hand side. Now, are you okay? Sorry. Okay, so the next step that we do is, on the right hand side, there's just one column left, which is of the revenue streams. So the next thing that once you've worked on the right hand side, what you start working on is the revenue stream. So this is very simple to understand where the money is going to come from.
Yeah, Sunanda, sorry to interrupt. Just wanted to give people a reminder that the session will be ending soon, so you can rejoin using the same link. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just finish revenue streams and then close it and then rejoin.
Yes.
Okay. So very, very important. You will see a lot of times what happens is that, an idea comes, it looks like an amazing idea. The problem is also there. The challenge is identified, and then the ideas come and we start working on the idea. But most of the startups are dealing with the issue of revenues not coming in, it not being a stable or a sustainable business. You would see hundreds of examples out there wherein startups have come and just faded because just could not sustain. And COVID is the time when the actual testing of the businesses have happened. A lot of co-working spaces are themselves struggling because the business model has not been sustainable. Okay, so a lot of we've seen so many companies. In fact, why I'm not missing that, a lot of online platforms have actually fizzled out because there was no revenue coming in. So it's very, very important to identify that who's going to, like I said, the paying customer is important, and at the same time it's important that I should know पैसा कहाँ से आ रहा है business में और ये कब आएगा. So it's okay if it comes a little later, but it got to come. So whether I'm going to, get money from as a one-time business, whether it is going to be a software as a service. Software as a service means that you're building a platform, and then somebody uses that platform. A lot of edutech works like this, wherein they create a platform and then you use it over a period of time, and then you pay yearly subscription. So like your courses online courses that you take those courses, and then you pay for that subscription, you pay for that course. When that course finishes, then you take another course. So there could be that model. There could be a upright model wherein you just pay one time and you take the service. But you got to identify where your revenue is going to come from, and those revenues have to be put here in the column below it. So that covers your right hand side, wherein how you're dealing with your customer, how you are identifying your customer, how you're dealing with that customer, what value you're passing to your customer, and how your customer is going to pay you all comes on the right hand side, and that covers the half of your business model canvas. So I think now we can restart, because it's going to, as it is shut, and then we